Well, I'm finally back with another episode of my Keep or Sell. This time we're doing the much requested Liverpool video. Now, I kind of put this off because I feel like Liverpool have one of the best squads in the league. They don't actually have that many players that I would potentially look at selling. Before we start though, prediction on Liverpool next season. I don't think they're going to win the Premier League, and I don't think it's going to be as close as it was this year. I think City is still going to win it, so I'm going to go with a Liverpool second place. And also, just before we get into the video, if you are looking to get yourself a custom controller just like this beauty right here, which I used so much, I've got at least probably 200 hours on this controller, and it still looks brand new, I highly recommend you go to Controller Mods. They have the best website where you can create your own PS4, Xbox controllers, so many colors and designs, you can put your own logos and images on it. I'd really recommend them. I've got so many controllers through them myself, so please do check them out. There is a link down below, and you can get yourself 10% off your controller, or however many controllers you want to buy, 10% off by using the code MGH at checkout. So thank you to Controller Mods for sponsoring the video, and now let's get started. Alisson, of course, is a keep. He has been absolutely incredible. What a first season, and looks like the money was well spent. He wasn't cheap, but he was cheaper than Kepa. Says it all, really. And then we've got Mignolet. Now, I'd keep him as a backup. However, if they didn't have Alisson, for example, I'd be selling him. But as a backup, I don't actually think it's too bad. I think Mignolet he's not unreliable. I'd say he's inconsistent sometimes, but I think, if Alisson got an injury, he'd be fine to step in and play a couple of games. Van Dijk, probably the easiest decision of this team, behind Salah maybe. Van Dijk, man. I mean, Alisson was a good signing, but Van Dijk is the best signing in a long time that I can think of right now. Maybe not in terms of how much it was, but in terms of the sheer value you're getting out of a new player. Van Dijk has transformed Liverpool's defence. I'm a huge fan. Really, really like him. Now, Lovren, linked with a move to AC Milan, as I mentioned in yesterday's video. I'm recording this the day before I post it, so who knows, he may be gone. I think I would be selling him. I think Lovren is fine. I think, you get away with him as being a backup defender, but if you can get a decent amount of money for him, I think you can do a lot better. So bring in someone else that maybe is good enough to partner up with Van Dijk and have Matip as the backup centre-back. That's probably what I would do. Now, Moreno will not be staying at Liverpool, so he would also be a sell anyway, so he's gone. We then have Andrew Robertson. How have they done this? I don't get it. They've plucked him out of Hull's team for, what was it? I don't even know how much money it was. It wasn't expensive at all. And now we're quite literally saying week in, week out that he's one of the best left-backs in the world. It's unbelievable. And then on the other side, you've got Alexander-Arnold, who I don't think he's as good as Robertson just yet, but boy, this kid is good. He's really good. The future of England. He really is. He's part of that core that is going to be the best, one of the best national teams in the world. You've obviously got Bissaka playing in that position as well. I think I'd be tempted to move Alexander-Arnold to right mid, maybe, just to get him in alongside Bissaka, or maybe even do Bissaka at right mid. But either way, how do you get both of them on the pitch? It's going to be so difficult for the future England manager to do that, whether or not it'll be Southgate. We then have another great English player in Gomez. I really, really do like Gomez. I remember when they first signed him, I thought that's going to be a really good signing. Bit of a slow burner, but now we're starting to really see how good he is and can play right back as well. But mainly I'd be using him as a centre-back. We then have Matip, who I would be keeping for sure. I think he's done very, very well with Gomez being injured. And actually, him and Van Dijk were a great partnership, especially in the Champions League, of which they won, of course. Up next, we have Fabinho. What a signing he's proved to be. Again, a little bit of a slow burner. Took him a little while to really get into the swing of things, but once he got into the team and started performing well, there was no dropping him, really. One of the best defensive midfielders in the league for sure. I really, really like him. Next, we have Keita, who wasn't cheap. They had to wait a while to actually get him, as he finished off his spell at RB Leipzig on loan for that season, or half season, whatever it was. I'm still undecided on Keita. I think he is a very good player, there's no doubt about it, but he's wearing that iconic number 8 shirt, And the pressure has been on him to succeed that number 8 role, which of course was left by Gerrard. I think he'll come good. I still think he's got plenty of time to show the manager and the fans how good he really is. And I can see a future midfield 3 of Fabinho, Keita, and another midfielder, whether it's, what's his name, Wijnaldum or whoever, Henderson it could be. Or even this next player here, Ox, who's been, of course, injured a lot of the time since joining from Arsenal. I miss the guy. He was the Joker at Arsenal. He did all of the Arsenal videos with the channel and stuff. And I know he's quite popular with the Liverpool fans on the YouTube section. And to be fair, he's a fantastic player on his day. He really is. He's just very injury prone. Is he a centre midfielder? Is he a right midfielder? Is he a right winger? I think he's a centre mid, you know. Maybe that is the partnership of the future. Keita, Ox and Fabinho. But the fact they've got Ox as a backup it shows a lot really, doesn't it? So now we're going into some of the youngsters. Is this Kent or is it Wilson? No, that's the Welsh player. Oh, you have to forgive me, I've forgotten his name. He is definitely one to keep. I want to say his name's Ben something, but I think since he broke into that Welsh team, since he's been playing on loan, I think he's done pretty well. I wouldn't sell him, but maybe not ready for first team football yet. Maybe go back out on loan again. Wijnaldum, 100% keep. Huge in that Barcelona game in the Champions League run. And I think he is a very, very underrated player and one of my favourites. Honestly, really, really like him. Henderson up next. Definitely a keep. I like Henderson. I think he gets a lot of unfair criticism because he's not that flashy, but really he does a very good job for Liverpool. And I feel kind of bad for him because of the reputation he has as being a bit meh, a bit rubbish sometimes. But honestly, he's captain, he's a leader, and he is consistently one of Liverpool's solid players in midfield. Next we have Milner. Now it's a difficult one because I do think they've got a lot of competition in midfield, but Milner is just one of those players that is just so good to have in the changing room. He's a solid player. He's so versatile. You can play him at left back, you can play him at right back, centre mid, centre defensive midfield, attacking midfield. You can play him on the wings, and he runs further than anyone else. He, for me, is a keep for maybe just one more year. And as I've said throughout these videos, it's not always about whether he'll be here in a couple of years or not. It's more about now and what I would do with certain players. And for me, Milner is one of those examples of just keep for another season. Don't sell him now. He is good to have as a backup. He's a squad player for sure. And I really like him. I do. I've always been a big fan of Milner. Next we have Lalana, who I believe is kind of out of favour. Is he leaving? I'm not sure if he's actually leaving for sure yet. But I would probably let him go because they have so many better options in there. Oh God, who's this guy? I've forgotten his name as well. I'll come back to him. We've got Shaqiri. He's definitely a keep. One of the bargains of the century for sure. We have another one of the Liverpool youngsters. Is that Chamacho? I think it is. We've got Firmino, 100% keep. I don't need to talk about him too much. We've also got Mane. I mean, I'm running out of space here. I'm going to put him there. Now, Salah, I don't think he's been good enough since joining Liverpool. I think he's been a failed signing. Just kidding, of course. Arguably the best player in the Premier League over the last 18 to 24 months. I think, honestly, he's Liverpool's best player in a long time. I really, really like Salah. I would definitely keep him. Sturridge is leaving, confirmed, so he goes into the sell. We've then got Brewster. We'll put him there just for now. Origi. Yep, I would keep him. I wouldn't sell him. Heroics in the Champions League or what? Really, really impressed with the last-minute goals and things like that he was scoring. Karius, I would sell. He's still going to be on loan, I believe, at Fenerbahce, is it? Or Besiktas, sorry. So, yeah, I'd probably sell him. Danny Ings, I would sell him as well. I don't think he's right for Liverpool anymore. I think they could probably do a lot better. Let's move these out of the way again. You can't see them, they're behind me. Klein, I would sell him for sure. Don't think he's been missed since going to Bournemouth on loan. They've, of course, got a lot of other players in that position. Gomez, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and they could bring in someone else in fairness. Bogdan, I believe, is going anyway. Here we have Ojo. Let's move him just for now. Grujic, we'll move him for now as well. I think that's Kent, and that's... Oh, hang on. This guy is Wilson, and that is Kent. I'd probably keep all of these young players. I think Liverpool have some fantastic young players. So we'll just go ahead and stack them on. So I would definitely keep Wilson. I would definitely try and keep Kent, although apparently they are listening to offers. Keep Brewster as well. Put him in there. Chamacho, I think his name is. Ojo, maybe not. They've got a lot of players in that position. I think I'm a bit unsure about Ojo. I think I'll put him in sell for now. And then Grujic, I'd probably recall him and keep him. I think he's a solid defensive midfielder. And if they're selling Lalana, they've got space, haven't they? Or maybe he is a sell. I don't know what they're going to do with him. But I'll keep him on the keep list for now. So there we go. Actually, I had a few more to sell than I thought. And I think that Liverpool really do have one of the strongest squads in the league, and they will be doing business. They will be getting more players in, and they can only get better, really. I don't think they're going to be any worse next season. And, you know, I made my prediction at the start of the video saying I think they'll come second again. That's just purely because Man City will spend more. They might not spend more, but I think it'll be close, at least, and they might just sign better players. I think Liverpool, they've got such a strong starting 11, they might not want to disrupt it too much. Whereas City, I think they can get away with maybe 2 or 3 positions with a direct upgrade, because they've got certain players like Kompany leaving, Fernandinho too old to play every single game. You're looking at potentially Sane leaving, so that opens a position on the left if Sterling and Bernardo Silva are playing in different positions. It's a little bit easier, I would say, for City to get a direct upgrade in their first 11. But we don't know. Liverpool are champions of Europe, technically the best team in Europe. They should be favourites to win the title, right? But I don't know, man. I'm going for City 3 years in a row. And I think Liverpool will be close, but just not close enough. Thank you for watching this video. Once again, thank you to Controller Mods for sponsoring this video. Again, if you want to get yourself a custom controller built to your specification with any colour you want, any logos you want, please do check out Controller Mods. The link is down below. And use MGH at checkout for 10% off. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at MGH, and I will see you in the next video very soon.